This edition of MacVoices is sponsored by Connected Data, the makers of the Transporter and Transporter Sync. Your data in your own private cloud, safe, secure, and cost-effective. Save 10% off any transporter model, up to $35, using the code MV10, or get $20 off the Transporter Sync with the code MV20, both at filetransporterstore.com. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. MacVoices is in San Francisco for WWDC and the AltConference. I'm in the Alt Labs area right now talking to Marty about Odyssey Translator, a very cool language translation program that is not what you'd expect. Marty, I was really impressed. It kind of took me by surprise.
Great. Well, I'm glad it did. It's a travel translator, and instead of us offering everything like a Google Translate or a machine translator, we just have phrases relating to travel. And instead of giving you the full sentence, the full phrase, we break the phrase up into the parts of subject, verb, and object so that you can easily digest them and then hear the parts of the sentence. A way to reference it to something we all use is a calculator. So I'm not really great at math, but I can pull out my calculator and press numbers and the plus sign, and magically I get the result. So with this, is you see a phrase that's, can I have a beer? And you press the can I button, and then, actually I'm thinking the other way, you press can I, and then have, and then when you press can I, it translates in German, kann ich, and then have would be, actually you don't say have next, you'd say a beer, ein Bier, and then haben.
Yeah, and in your demo, it was perfect because we think of, okay, this is how we talk, but that's not the way other languages are structured. And what I really found interesting about your app is that it kind of forces me to do it correctly.
Yes.
You know, you give me the visual cue to say, okay, this is the part you need to choose next. And I don't have to sit there and figure out what I want to say. You're right, it's all related to travel. So I can pull this out and in very short order, without having someone get frustrated with me while I'm trying to type it out in English, I just do a couple key phrases and get the answer right there.
Yes. Another way to look at it is we want you to, it's a tool. We're not trying to replace language learning or we're not even trying to replace machine translation. We want you to have a tool to help you do. You're not learning, you're doing, but by doing, you're learning.
Yeah, that's a great point, because I learned something this morning as you were showing it to me, that I knew that about language. I didn't know that specifically about German,
right.
But it gave me a piece of information. So I think the easiest way to do it is let's show the folks a little bit of it so they understand what's going on here.
Great.
Okay? All right. Okay, so here we are at Odyssey Translator. Marty, it's all yours.
Hi, so I wanted to give a quick demo of our translator. This is a German phrasebook, and I chose German because the syntax is different than what we're used to in English, and I like to drink beer when I'm abroad, so I wanted to show you how to order a beer in German. So you see how the category is conversation, dining, and drinks. You click on drinks, and then there's beer ready for me in the top right corner, and then you can say, can I have a beer? So in English you would say, can I have a beer? But in German you say, kann ich, it translates, and then you don't say have next, you say ein Bier, have, haben, and then you can press it and then follow the phrase ein Bier, haben. And if you want to favorite it, you can just click favorite, shows up in your favorites. And back to the phrasebook.
In case you order a lot of beer.
That's right. Actually, I could put in, can I have 2 beers? I didn't think about that until now. But I think if you're going to order 2, it might mean to have more. So if that's the case, then we need to jump to numbers, and then we go to 10 beers very quickly.
Again, I love the way that you kind of force me through the process the way that I should in German. So I'm not an American trying to speak German like an American. I'm actually an American translating into German the way they structure it.
Yes. I think another way to look at it is that we don't all want to speak like Yoda all the time. So it's nice to speak in the correct order in another language without you realizing it. So you're learning accidentally through using it, kind of like when I use my calculator, I don't need to know that 2 plus 2 is, I don't need to add 2 plus 2 is 4. I know that after a while of using my my calculator.
The obligatory Star Wars reference.
Right. Well, I mean, there is going to be a speech on Star Wars at the WWDC, I think, Thursday or Friday. So it worked well.
So that's what I was saying before. It forces me to learn. It forces me to use the right structure, so I'm not insulting the people in my host country. And it kind of respects them. It's respecting me, and yet I get it done quickly and easily.
I think when you're traveling, when I was traveling, I found that it was more important to be understood than to understand. I'm the customer. I want to order food. I want to get to my hotel. I want to make sure that I'm accommodating and speaking the other language so that I'm understood. And they're catering to me already by helping me out with having a great vacation. Why don't I make that little effort to try to speak another language? And I wanted to make it easy and not feel uncomfortable or stressed out. This allows you to just easily repeat what you hear or have it play for you. And I think that's important. A lot of us, we go abroad and we say, do you speak English? Do you speak English? And this will really help to say, no, you know what, I can try this. I have this, like a calculator. It's in my pocket. It's ready. I can pull it out and use it.
I completely agree. And you're learning. You're going to pick up some of this stuff eventually. If you ask for a beer enough times in a language, you're going to figure it out.
That's wonderful. You accidentally learn how to speak the other language. That's a wonderful thing.
What a concept! Accidentally learning to speak a language. So, how about some specifics here? How many languages are there that Odyssey works with?
We have 9 languages right now. Currently, they're the more popular tourist languages, which are Spanish, French, German, Italian, Portuguese, Mandarin, Chinese, Korean, Russian. I've lost count. Dutch, I know we have. English, of course. I think I covered them all. Okay. I might have missed one.
Oh, that's all right. That's good. And how many phrases per language, or is it just the same set of phrases for everything?
Each language is the same set of phrases, the different phrase combinations. So, for example, can I have a beer? The can I is used once, and then have is used once. But a beer, and then you have a dark beer, or a light beer, or non-alcoholic beer. Or with wine, I would like a glass of red wine, or I would like a bottle of red wine. So with all of the phrase combinations, we have several thousand phrases. But we really go lean to make sure so that we're not giving you a huge long list of thousands of phrases, but a nice little grid that allows you to build those phrases. So I haven't calculated exactly, but it is a high amount. It's enough to get you by on a 2-week vacation.
What's the origin of this app? Where did this come from, this idea of doing it this way? Because I think we've all wanted an app like this, but we haven't really known how it would work, short of trying to type out all those phrases all the time.
The origin for me to create this app came out of I was actually pivoting in career, and I have family members who are teachers, language teachers, and I have friends who are language teachers, and we've all have that history of a French teacher in class when we were younger, and they would always tell me the same problem is, you have one teacher and 30 plus kids every hour, and you can't help each one work on the pronunciation individually. You kind of have to help the class, and then you repeat. So I thought, why don't we have a tool that allows you to personally tutor yourself that doesn't encroach on the teacher's learning? So through that, it grew into Odyssey Translator. I have lots of little stories with that, but that's a quicker version, I think. That's a quicker way to get to the meat of.
Well, and as they've seen, it's an attractive app too.
Thank you.
It's a very clean looking app. It's not intimidating. It makes me want to say, oh, I can pull it out and at a restaurant, or show this to a taxi driver or whatever, or maybe let them listen to it more accurately, and get the job done. So it just feels like something I could fit into my travel lifestyle and not have to worry about how much time I'm taking up for me or for someone else.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that, because we have a lot of people like the app, and we're just really lucky to have the opportunity to be here at Apple and learn how we can make our app better and more accessible to more people.
So it's obviously in the App Store.
Yes.
How much is it?
It's $5. We have a free version, and then we have an in-app purchase in there for $5, and then we also have a normal paid version that's already $5. The in-app purchase is the same as the normal purchase, so $4.99 in each language, and with the new Apple announcement that we can make an Apple bundle, we'll be able to really play around and help people to say, well, if you buy 2 or more, then we'll have a discount. I'm really excited about that opportunity to market better for customers who are going to Europe and they're going to France and Germany, or France and Italy or Spain. So, yes.
I love the way you're doing it now, of course, pre-announcements.
Yes.
Because it gives me a chance to play with it, get the feel of it, and then spend the money and activate it, as opposed to trying to force me to buy the whole thing sight unseen. And before this, of course. So, yeah, good job. Good job. The website for Odyssey Translator is?
We're lucky. It's just OdysseyTranslator.com. And if you Google Odyssey Translator, I think we'll pop up pretty quickly.
Great. Marty, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Great app.
Thank you very much.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. We'll be back with more from from WWDC and the AltConference in San Francisco. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, app.net, Google+, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date with all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at MacVoices.com/newsletter. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at BackbeatMedia.com.